Good morning children, Sairam, how are you all? So today we are going to see about Florence Nightingale. Okay, so in our value education classes we have finished the first 3 lessons, right? So what was the first lesson we saw? We have seen prayers, right? So the second lesson was the honest farmer, and the third lesson was about Rameshwaram, the temple city, isn't it? So we are going to see the next lesson, that is the fifth lesson about Florence Nightingale. So how many of you know who is Florence Nightingale? Yes, Florence Nightingale is a lady with a lamp. So it's a nickname for her. So who is Florence Nightingale? She is the lady with the lamp. So do you know one interesting thing about Florence Nightingale? Yes, Florence Nightingale was the founder of modern nursing. What is nursing, children? Treating and caring for the sick people, right? So Florence Nightingale was a founder of modern nursing. Okay, so let us learn more about Florence Nightingale in this chapter. Okay, Florence Nightingale was born in Italy on 12th May 1820. So underline, she was born in Italy on 12th May 1820. Her father was William Nightingale and her mother was Fanny Nightingale. Florence Nightingale's father treated her as his friend and companion. He educated her, taught her Greek, Latin, French, Italy, German and history, philosophy and maths. So during those days, that is in the 18th century, it was very difficult for a girl child to study and to get educated. Okay, but Florence Nightingale's father, William Nightingale, educated her and he taught her to read and write Greek, Latin, French, German, Italian and history. He also taught her philosophy and mathematics. At the age of 17, Florence felt that God was calling her to serve others. But her mother was primarily concerned in finding a good husband for her daughters. Florence refused to marry. At the age of 25, she told her parents that she wanted to become a nurse. So, did you understand? Florence Nightingale, she was born in Italy on 12th May 1820. What was her father's name? Her father's name was William Nightingale and her mother's name was Fanny Nightingale. So there is one additional thing to say. She also had a sister, a younger sister. Okay, so her father was so good and treated her as a friend. So he taught her Greek, Latin, French, German, Italian, history, philosophy and maths. But during the age of 17, Florence felt that God was calling her to serve others. Okay? But she did not express this to her mother. Instead, her mother wanted Florence to be married, which Florence refused to. At the age of 25, she told her parents that She wanted to become a nurse. But her parents were totally opposed to this idea. At last, in 1851, Florence's father gave her permission to train as a nurse. Florence, now at the age of 31, went to Germany where she studied to become a nurse. So, what is happening in Florence's life? At the age of 17, Florence was called by God to serve others. Right? And at the age of 25, she expresses her wish to become a nurse to her parents. After all, at the age of 31, she decides to become a nurse and goes to Germany where she studied 2 years to become a nurse. After 2 years, she was appointed as a superintendent of a hospital in London. So after 2 years, she becomes as a superintendent of the hospital in London. In 1853, Russia invaded Turkey. So Russia and Turkey had a fight, that is battle, in 1853. Britain and France supported Turkey. This conflict came to be known as the Crimean War. So during this Crimean War, what happened is there were many wounded soldiers who were affected by cholera and malaria. Okay, so there were many wounded soldiers who were affected by cholera and malaria. Florence Nightingale volunteered her services and eventually was given permission to take a group of 38 nurses to Turkey. So what happened? Florence Nightingale wanted to serve all the people who were affected in the Crimean War. So she took 38 nurses with her to Turkey to serve the wounded soldiers. Here she was given the task of organizing the barracks hospital, that is the army hospital. She improved the quality of sanitation and the death rate was reduced. She took good care of the wounded soldiers. She washed their clothes, scrubbed and cleaned the floors. Though she came from a rich family, So Florence Nightingale was originally from a rich family, but the works she did in the hospital were really small jobs that was not suited for her. But she had a capability of doing all these things, children. There was no electricity to check the patients. So she carried a lamp as she walked the halls of the battlefield hospital and came to be known as a lady with the lamp. So that is why Florence Nightingale was called as the lady with the lamp. In 1856, she returned to England as a natural heroine. Here, she was shocked to see the lack of hygiene and care in the British Army. Florence therefore decided to begin a campaign to improve the quality of nursing in military hospitals. So what is happening after the Crimean War? After she has treated all the soldiers, she moves back to England in 1856. So when she returned to England, she saw that in the British hospitals, that is in the military hospitals, there was a lack of hygiene and care. So this made her to improve the quality of nursing in military hospitals. So as a result, she formed the Army Medical College, and With the support of her wealthy friends, she improved the quality of nursing and also found the Nightingale School and Home for Nurses at St. Thomas Hospital. Okay, so now she wanted to improve the quality of nursing, and so that she found the Nightingale School and Home for Nurses at St. Thomas Hospital. The caring heart of Florence won her admiration and affection of not just the soldiers she nursed, but the entire world. It was the caring she brought to the job that made nursing a noble profession. So, as I told you, Florence Nightingale changed the entire model of nursing. She was a founder of modern nursing and made nursing a noble profession. She became as a founder of modern nursing, and later Florence Nightingale suffered from poor health and died in London on 13th August 1910. So she died on 13th August 1910. So the moral of this story is, we must not consider any work small or big, good or bad. Each kind of work needs to be respected. So it's a very important thing that you should know, children. You should treat all the persons with due respect. Even if they are your maid servants, you should respect them. Yes, because each work is unique. Okay? And remember, service at the hour of need is real service. So what is a real service? When it is needed, you should give the service, and that is the real service. So did you understand this, children? Read through this lesson carefully and read it once or twice so that you understand the lesson. And let's move on to the next lesson. So now we are going to see the fourth lesson, Bhakta Durva. Okay. So Durva was the son of Suniti and Utnapada. King Utnapada had another wife by the name Surushi. She had a son named Uttama. Durva and Uttama loved each other very much. So Durva was a son of Suniti and Uttanapada. King Utnapada had another wife by the name Surushi. She had a son named Uttama. Durva and Uttama loved each other very much. So let's see what happens. Mother, father is free. May I go and sit in his lap? Certainly, my son. It is your rightful place, as you are the future king. When Durva saw Uttama sitting in his father's lap, he also ran towards them. I will too sit on my father's lap. Certainly not. You have no right to be there. Go away. Where shall I go, mother? So what is happening here? His father, that is Uttama's father, was sitting on the chair, and Uttama was asking his mother whether he could go and sit in his lap. And his mother said, it's your right that you are going to sit on the throne next, because you are going to be the future king. So you can go and sit in your father's lap, says Uttama's mother. So what happens here is, when Uttama Uttama was sitting on his father's lap. Dhruva saw this and he also ran towards the king, and he also wanted to sit with his father. But what did Uttama's mother do? Uttama's mother said, "You have no right to sit in your father's lap because you are the son of the second wife of your father." And now Dhruva is very angry and he is disappointed, and now he is coming to his mother. He is asking, "Where shall I go, mother?" He is asking. And now Dhruva's mother is saying, "Go to Lord Narayana's and seek his blessings to be reborn as my son. Then only you can have the same rights like Uttama," says Uttama's mother. Okay, so see how arrogant she is behaving to the child. Now Dhruva goes on crying and he was very hurt. He ran to his mother Suniti, and Suniti is asking, "Why are you crying, my son?" So what happened? The entire thing that has been happened is narrated to her mother, and he's saying, "Mother, Suruchi said, I have no right to sit on father's lap. Only Uttama has the right." And what is Suruchi and what is Suniti doing? She said, "Yes, my child, only the first wife's son has the right to sit on his father's lap and he will become the future king." Now Dhruva has become calmful and thoughtful. "Mother Suruchi also told me to seek Lord Narayana's blessing if I want to sit on my father's lap. Will Narayana really help me, mother?" asked Dhruva. And his mother Suniti said, "Yes, my child, he never fails those who return to him." "Then I shall find him out," asked Dhruva, and he ran out of the place. "Go, my son, he is the only refugee. He can only help us. It will be difficult for you to find him, but if you try hard, you will succeed." So can you find out God, children? Yes? Is he visible? No, he is not visible. But when you want to see God, you should see God only by seeking his love. When can you seek love from God? So let's see what Bhakta Dhruva is doing to find God. "I will not return unless and until I find Lord Narayana. He will bless me to become a greater king than my father," said Bhakta Dhruva. Meanwhile, Narada meets Dhruva. "Where are you, my child? Why are you here, my child?" "I want to win Lord Narayana's favor," said Bhakta Dhruva. "I am aware of that, my child, but you are too young. It is not so easy to find Lord Narayana. Why don't you wait till you are a little older?" "Oh, wise one, I will not turn back. Tell me how I can succeed in my resolve." So what happens is, he is leaving the place. Dhruva is leaving the place to seek Lord Vishnu's favor. And on the way he meets Lord Narayana. And what is Lord Narayana? On the way he meets Narada. Okay, and Narada is saying, "Why are you here, my child?" For that, Bhakta Dhruva elaborates all the story. And he said that he wants to win Lord Narayana's heart. Yes, and Narada advises him, "No, go to your home. You are very small to get his favor. Wait until you are a little older." And this is not accepted by Bhakta Dhruva. So what is he doing? He is answering him. He answers back to Narada that he is not going to turn back and he wants to succeed in his resolve. And he is asking, how can I win Lord Narayana's heart? If you meditate in the Madhuban forest on the banks of river Yamuna, you will find the Lord. O sage, teach me how to meditate. Repeat Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chant this name continuously with concentration. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I shall sit here and meditate. Dhruva reached Madhuban and he is planning to sit near the banks of river Yamuna and meditate. For some time Dhruva lived only on fruits, then only on grass and leaves. Later he lived only on water, and slowly he started living on air. So what did you understand from this? On the first day, what did Dhruva do? He had fruits for his meal, and later he fed on grass and leaves, and later he drank only water while meditating, and finally he started to stop his food and live on breathing air alone. So this made Lord Narayana to appear in front of Bhakta Dhruva, and Narayana is asking, what has brought you to this place, my child? Oh Lord, I want a permanent place from where nobody can drive me away. You shall have a place in heaven where you shall stay forever. Go back. You shall also rule the kingdom for a long time. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So what happens is, now Lord Vishnu appears in front of Dhruva and he asks him for a wish. And Bhakta Dhruva is asking that he needs a place where nobody can drive him back. That is, nobody can push him out of the place. And Lord Vishnu says that you shall have a place in heaven. Go to your kingdom and you shall rule your kingdom, answers Narayana. The Dhruva became the pole star, that is Dhruva Nakshatra in sky. The other 7 stars of the 7 rishis can also be slowly moving around the pole star. So did you understand that God has given him a wish, that is a boon, that he will become a pole star in the sky, and the 7 stars will be following him round. So he became Dhruva Nakshatra in the sky. So what is the moral of this story is, anything can be achieved by faith and firm determination. So did you understand, children? If you have faith that I can do it, you will definitely do. So always have faith in whatever you do, and don't just like that do work. You have to have a complete faith in whatever you do, and definitely you will win and success will be near you. Okay, children? So I hope you have understood about Florence Nightingale and Bhakta Dhruva, right? So the book back answers, you can do it by yourselves. So there are activity also, you can do it by yourself, children. Completely read the lesson once or twice, you will be able to understand everything. Okay, so furthermore, if you have any doubts, you can ask me, I will clarify it. Okay, children? Thank you. Sai Ram.